I hope everyone is doing good this morning. It's my last talk for the year. And I hope with it, as challenging as the year has been, we've learned things, So this morning what I did is that I did a recap of the work we've done this year, the topics that we've covered. I've listed them down. And I have a closing talk. It's a small one, a closing talk, because I wanted to stick. So I don't want to be long-winded for today's talk, because I want it to stick, because it's behavior that we have normalized. That I'm hoping is behavior we are going to leave in this year, that we are not going to carry with us into the next year. Because we're TV people now. We must walk differently. I'm sure you saw yourselves on Mnet. You TV people now. So we must walk differently. People are watching us. International eyes are on us now. So we must walk differently. So the last talk for the year, I'll cover just now, but I just want to go through some of the topics we've covered this year. The first topic that I had for the year was, let's be light bearers. That was the first talk that I covered for the year, because we work in this dark space, right? It was designed for darkness, but we are God's chosen ones. So even in a space of darkness, we will create light and we will be light bearers. Light is going to resonate from us, from the work that we put onto ourselves. The work that we put onto ourselves is going to be so immense that the light will shine as we walk down this dark passage. That was how we opened up the year. And then I wanted us to have a little bit of introspection, of looking at yourself, because sometimes you work on yourself so much. Like I know with me, I wrote a post the other day, and I realized I woke up a different woman from the woman that I originally was, The work I've put in myself has changed me so much. And how and what is important to me and what it is that I enjoy has changed so much since the work that I put into myself. So I remember that I did a talk where I said, how would you describe yourself to someone who doesn't know you? And that talk was supposed to have you looking at yourself and seeing the version of yourself that you believe that you are, and checking it against how you are walking. Because you have this perception of that you are this kind woman, but how much of that kindness do you see in your own community that you have generated for the community around you? So you acknowledge this thing about yourself, but what is the proof of it within your life, right? And then the next one was putting action into words. That one is very self-explanatory, because I stand here and I speak, right? And when I stand here and speak, everybody receives me. Everybody can understand what it is I'm saying, but are you taking what I'm saying and plugging it back into the workplace? Are you taking the things that I'm saying and trying to make female center of excellence the best that it can potentially be, with you being the tool that drives the change, not expecting that Mama will be the one driving the change or anyone else, but you take the information that I give and then you say, as an agent of change, as an agent of love, of female center of excellence, as the queen that I am, what have I taken from this talk and how will I action it within the space that God has placed me in? And then we moved from there and we went to flowers, where we are placing ourselves in a situation where we are vulnerable enough to be able to say, I need recognition. I had to stand here and be vulnerable enough to say, ladies, after I speak, I want to hear from you about me, so I can be better. And so you might have to say that within this space as well. You might have to go to your supervisor and have an unofficial meeting of, what can I do better? Just as a person that you've dealt with in this year, so that you and I can do better together the next year. Vulnerability, and what that's going to do is that you will be a better queen. You will be a better queen for that conversation. You will be better for yourself, because you're always trying to be the best version of yourself. So there will be the meetings that the department will have for you. That's for them. But what are you doing for yourself? So you can see when you are doing good, because that person will tell you when you're doing good, and that's when you will receive your flowers. But in also receiving your flowers means that there's behaviors that you need to be able to change. So you need to place yourself in a vulnerable enough situation to say, what can I do better, even with your children. How can I love you a little bit better? As your mother, you can do the same exercise with your partner in the way in which you communicate in this household. How is it that you believe you could be able to receive me better when I speak to you? What would be the best way for me to be able to speak to you? Would you prefer to speak to me when the children are asleep? Would you prefer for us to have our conversations in the morning? When is the best time for us to have conversations in this household? Because we are off the thing of having to always want to be reactive. No? So try and do that and do it for yourself, because it will make you a better wife, it will make you a better mother, it will make you a better person to work with. Take those notes down and see what you can work on for you, for yourself, so that when you say, I am so and so, you can say it with pride, knowing that you put in the work to be this person. Acceptance. Acceptance, sometimes what happens is that there's different seasons in which God will place us in. And He will allow us to be in those different seasons for different reasons. And we are of this belief that when we are in the winter season, that we are not within God's love. We don't accept where we are. We don't accept that this is where I have been placed. And accept that there is something I'm meant to learn here. The only time that we want to praise when God delivers to us what we believe that we deserve. And when it is winter season, we tend to be weak. So that's what I want us to learn acceptance of where we have been placed. When you have been placed does not mean that is where you will stay. But God will continue to place the same things over and over. You continue to teach the same lesson over and over until you learn. So you might end up in winter for 5 years, but you might, because you are looking at the fact that it's winter here, and you're not looking at what you're supposed to learn in this winter season. So winter might go over and over, because you are not looking at the situation the way you are meant to. We must be able to accept all things. Happiness, sadness. Sit in it. Sit in your sadness. Sit in your grief. Sit in it. So you can go right through it and be on the other side of it. Let's build a bridge was the next talk. The next talk was let's build a bridge, which is necessary, because you can't do this alone. You can do your part, but we build the same bridge together. You can do your part. And your part might be to motivate the ones that are currently physically building the bridge. We all have different tasks. Some of us are going to be the ones that are carrying the water to the ones building the bridge. But we're all working towards the same thing. Here at Female Center of Excellence, we all deserve the working environment that we can thrive in as the queens that we are. So we are all working towards the same goal. Our jobs are different. But the bridge we're building is for all of us. And the ones that will come after us, they won't know the hardship that we know. And then another one was, I'm just a nobody. As a continual reminder that I give myself. Because in order for you to be able to serve, you need to be able to humble yourself. You can't serve any other way. And so continuously, when I come here, I remind myself that I am nobody, that God decided to make somebody in this place. It wasn't me, it wasn't because of my greatness, God decided. But I am still a nobody and will remain a nobody that He utilizes to create change. So in this place that you guys work in, you are a bunch of nobodies creating change. Remind yourself as you serve, because serving is not easy. You must get over yourself continuously. There is no other way to serve. And then the next one that followed that, it was serve God, don't chase your way. I mean, it ties with what I just said, I said we will not be remembered. They might not write books about us, but the change that we've created in this place is something that we will know we've done. The change that we created in the space, we will know that we've done. We'll be sitting back in our homes years from now, and they will be talking about the level of quality, of professionalism at Female Center of Excellence. They will be talking about, the lack of return rate of the people that come into Female Center of Excellence. And you will know it is on your backs that is possible. They might not say our names individually, but it will create change in this place. Because we are here to serve, we are not here for people. We are here to create change. We are not here for people. And then the last one that I did last was sisterhood. Sisterhood, where I spoke with the women in my life, and I stressed the importance of having more than one source of support around you. And that from one individual, you cannot get all things. And you need to start trying to do that from one individual, that you create a toxic situation. Do you understand? And so it is true that, yes, your partner must be your best friend, but you must also have your own center of people around you that you can lean on. They can be able to correct you when you're wrong and be able to show you your own errors, And so derive from different sources. And then what I did is that I started highlighting people within the space that I believed had the same similar traits as the friends in my life. And what I believed was the best job that I did was that one, because I got to see what you guys were thinking. People started standing up and speaking and pointing out other people and the value that they have and all of the things that they possess. For me, it felt like a powerful session for me, because not only do people see beauty within themselves, but people have trained their eyes to see beauty within other women. And for me, it felt like the walks that I've been doing, coming here for 5 years, I'm actually finally doing something that's worth doing. So for me, I felt so validated, I felt so loved the last time that I was here, just seeing the queens move with each other and being able to say, oh wow, did you even know that so-and-so's queen, the crown is this big and shining, and this is what you were doing, and it was so beautiful to see. And so this last talk for the year is think before you speak. That's my talk for the year, because we are incredibly hard with each other as women, especially women of color. We don't have patience, tolerance. We're not soft with each other at all. We want to deliver the message. We don't care how to deliver the message. We don't care how it sits on the next person. So I want to show you how that thing. I saw this video on social media, and for me it was like, okay, if this does not drive the point home, I don't know what ever will. So there's this Chinese scientist guy who's got these 3 glass cups. Yeah? In these 3 glass cups, there's rice. So he's trying to ferment the rice. Right? So what he does is, every day for over a 10-day period or something along those lines, I can't remember the period, he treated, there was the same level of rice in all 3 glasses. And he did a ritual with all 3. So if he put in a teaspoon of water on this one, he put in a teaspoon of water on this one, and he put in a teaspoon of water on this one. But what he did is that he treated them very differently. So they were all sitting in the same place, getting the same amount of light, the same amount of oxygen, the same amount of being fed. But what he did is, the first rice, he spoke to with kindness. Every time he poured anything on it, said, oh, you beautiful rice, look at you, you're gonna blossom, you're gonna shine, look at you even today with your whiteness shining, all of those things. And then he went to the second glass, and the second glass he told him, you stupid, you inadequate, you are this, you are that, you are this. And then the third glass, he completely ignored. In silence, he never said anything to them. Did not acknowledge the third glass at all. And so at the end of the experiment, the third glass was dark, and it was sticking to the glass. It was just something that just like looked like, I don't know, it looked like cold, it looked like it just, the only thing you could do to that glass is just throw it away, right? And then the middle glass was insulted. It was murky, it had fungus on, it was just, also it was ruined. And then the rice that was spoken to, it was fermenting nicely, it was shining as brightly and as white as it was being told it is. So now, react to negativity. If rice can react to nurturing and care. Think, man, before you speak. Think before you speak. There's people, and I'm not talking here, I'm talking because I've worked, right, in corporate situations. There's people that would physically get sick when they have to walk into the office because of the toxic nature. I keep on saying we have power, no matter the position, because even your mouth, your tongue holds power.
Yes.
It can elevate or it can crush. And we believe things like, we work here, we're all adults, it's not personal. It's, hey, the rice can go like that and be rotten and die. The way you speak to a person counts. You're speaking to a human being, you're speaking to someone's child. You're speaking to, these are not the only broken people on the other side, not the only broken people, guys. You come to things. So I want us to think before we speak. So, before you speak, I want you to think of the word think. So T would represent, is it true? What I'm telling you, is it true? When you're talking to the other woman and you're relaying information, ask yourself, is what I'm telling her true? Am I exaggerating? Could I say this in a different way? And then ask yourself, what I'm telling this woman, is it helpful? So we are here, and she's made this error, this admin error. So shouting at her versus showing her. Which one is going to work? Which one is going to work in this? Am I helpful in scolding her over this or showing her how to do this better next time? Am I being helpful in the situation? And then the I is for, am I inspiring? The words are leaving my mouth and going to another female, another woman. Am I being inspiring? Am I, and then we go to M, is it even necessary? This thing that I'm saying to her, is it even necessary? You know this extra last bit, is it even necessary for me to say, oh, you look beautiful, but you must lose weight, right? You would be even better if you lost weight. Is it necessary, that last part? Since you've already given the compliment, is that last part necessary? And then your okay is, am I being kind? Am I being kind? Am I being kind? I'm relaying this information to her. This is information she needs to hear. I'm trying to help this friendship grow. So am I being kind in the way that I'm speaking to her right now as a person that wants this friendship to grow? Am I being kind speaking to her as her mother, expecting her to want to be a woman who is soft? Am I being kind speaking to my colleague who I'm going to share the rest of this year with? Am I speaking to her in a way that will create an environment where she and I can be able to be nicely? Am I being kind? Yes, this person works under me. Am I speaking to them with kindness? Because there's a difference between authority and, being in authoritative figure where you are utilizing the right. Authority for me is someone who's utilizing the right thing at the right time. You know when to be firm and you know when to be soft. It's not just, because it's like, no, I'm a figure of authority, so things must, no. You know when to be. And for us, we are queens. So we are just above others. Guys, we think before you speak. T is for true. H is for helpful. I is for inspiring. N is for necessary. K is for kind. We say a lot of unnecessary things to each other. We say a lot of unnecessary things to each other. As we end this year, every time you have to communicate with a queen, I want you to first think before you speak. as the eminent people that we are. We'll be entering the year knowing how to move with each other and have patience with each other. So if it means Uti, Unani is angry to you right now, you might need to speak to her next week when you have dealt with yourself, because the issue can wait. The issue is not going to die. Because what you're going to end up doing is that you're going to end up being unkind, you're going to end up saying unnecessary things, and you're going to end up crushing instead of helping. And sometimes when you are speaking in that moment, you even say things that are untrue to the next person so you can drive the point. So sometimes we must learn this thing of having to think before we speak. Think, am I in the right position, mental state, emotional state, to even be engaging with another woman? Because what I'm going to feed her is important. Even in a space where you are wronged, guys, just because a person is wrong does not mean it gives you the right to crush them. It gives you the right to educate them on how to treat you next time. We are royalty. We are queens. Let's start walking in that light, guys, in 2024. I want us to take the messages that I give here, and I want them for us to action them. I want us to try. So thank you so much, guys, for your time. And anyone who's going on leave, be safe, be kind. Anyone who has to work still, guys, stay strong, stay beautiful, be the light bearers in this dark space. You're the only beautiful thing here. You're the only beautiful thing about this place. Own that. Walk as if you are the only beautiful thing in this place, because you are. What beats having? There's nothing else. The walls are great. You know, the floors are great. The only gorgeous thing in this place is you guys. I don't think you guys take it to the city. I don't think like walk as if you are the gorgeous things in this place. And so for those that are left walking this hall, please, queens, walk with your crowds. Walk, come on. Walk and do what God has sent you to do with pride, amen. You know, let's be proud of who we are. Let's be proud of how we treat other people, how we treat other women. We'll come to the full circle of people, but let's start with women. Let's find compliments for each other. Let's make it. And I know some of us don't know how to